I'm sure you've heard this 100 times. What is the definition of metadata? It's data about data. And I personally am so tired of hearing that because it's actually there's a lot more to it. Metadata is the data that describes all aspects of an enterprise information assets. So it's not just the data about the data. But people, it's sometimes hard to kind of comprehend what it is because it is such a large definition, if you will, and it does involve so much across the different operational areas and within your data lifecycle that it can be confusing. But we want to strip that down as much as possible. So on the next slide, I'm going to explain to you the three different types of metadata. So you have business metadata, which is more on the business side. It's business level concepts. It's business terms and their definitions. So a lot of times that would fall into a data catalog or a business catalog, if you will. Then you have the technical metadata, which falls more on the IT side. So in a lot of these different operating systems that are enabled within IT, there is technical metadata that's automatically being collected and stored somewhere, and it may not be something that anyone's accessing or using, but it's definitely there. It's in that truly is the data about the data within maybe a database or a database table or a schema, if you will. So that's your more technical metadata, and then you have your operational metadata, and that's where the data itself is moving across the entire organization. So just because it comes in through one operating system doesn't mean that it's going to come right back out through that same system. It may go through several different transformations throughout different systems before it even is consumed by an end user. So as you can see, metadata, it does literally hit every aspect of your organization, and it hits it from a business, a technical, and an operational perspective. So from a definition perspective, it can be confusing, and that's why we're trying to kind of level set here in this discussion. So we've talked about the types of metadata and what metadata is, but where is metadata? So within your organization, it's everywhere. It's in people's heads, and sometimes, unfortunately, some of those people decide to leave the company and take it with them. In the best case scenario, it's actually written down or tracked in some type of technology where you can actually get to it and leverage it at some point. But and then again, on other occasions, it's in a repository or in a database. So it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. You can call metadata a printout, if you will. If you walk by someone's desk and you see a printout of an invoice, that's metadata. That's information about whatever that customer or client had purchased within that invoice. So a lot of information is being stored, it's being collected, and it's quite frankly accessible to a lot of people across the organization. And that's why it's so important. And that's why so many organizations are so eager to go out and purchase technology and get out ahead of it and find ways to actually document and store and maintain and enhance this information in a more technical way instead of trying to do it manually. We understand that. However, in order to do that, there are a few things that you need to consider first to be successful.